So, a couple of years ago, I did something that was really exciting for me. So I bought my first house. And the reason was I was living in this apartment and it was loud and obnoxious. You know what I'm saying? When you live in an apartment and you got people living in the top floor, they're really noisy and you hear all the steps coming down. And then the side neighbors, they got dogs and it's whole messy, it's noisy. And I was exhausted. I was a student, I was working, so I needed some peace and quiet. So at that moment I decided to buy my own house. It was an exciting moment for everybody. Getting your own house. I was like, what? So I got this place. It looked amazing. It had a garage. It was a big kitchen. It got 3 rooms, 2 bathrooms. The place was immaculate and I love it. But the main reason I got it was peace and quiet. I wanted to get be nice with my neighbors, get barbecues, and just have a nice, peaceful life. And it was like that for about 2 weeks. One time I was laying in my bed, like everybody. It was 2 in the morning. I was, sleeping, and suddenly I hear loud hip hop music wake me up, and I was like, "What's going on?" So I picked through my window, and the neighbor next to me, it was in his car, and it was a really loud car. So I put on my pajama, come downstairs, open the door, walk to him, and he was there just chilling. He was smoking a blunt just like this. He was like, with that loud hip hop. So I was like, all right, this seems cool. Let me see how chill he is. So I approached him. So I walked in towards him and I was like, hey, neighbor, how's it going? Can you please lower your music down and really trying to sleep? So he actually did it. I was like, yo, man, no problem, dog. You good? He was still smoking his blunt. And I was done. That was it. I went back to sleep and that was it for the day. But then the next day, it was the same. It was 2 in the morning. I went down, do the same routine. It was like deja vu. Then the third day, and then the fourth day, and then a couple of weeks later, I was not as chill. I was getting a little bit, tension. I have this tension in myself. I was like, what is this? This guy playing with me? Or whatever. So after I don't know how many weeks, he moved out, and I was the happiest moment of my life. I was like, yo, back again to my peaceful life. And it was nice. 2 days later, I peeked through my window and I see a car blocking my driveway. And I was about to go to work. So, all right. So come downstairs, open the door again, go to this. I was a black Honda. And I see this girl in her 20s. She was there chilling. So I approached her and again, super chill because that's how I am. I calmly approached her. I was a little bit mad inside, but I always keep my cool. And I was like, excuse me, I'm about to leave to work in about 5 minutes. Can you please move your car? And she looked at me straight in the eyes and she told me this: fuck you, bitch. And I was like, oh my God, this woman just flipped me off. What now? But in the and she did move the car, but she did it with the attitude. She slowly, it was like 5 miles per hour. She just slowly moved her car, make him feel her presence. Like, oh yeah, I'm moving it because I want to know because you told me, motherfucker. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. So I went back to my house. I chill. Oh, good. 3 days later, my doorbell rings, and I was okay. Well, let's see what's going on. I approached my door as I walk in, opened the door. Look, there was nobody there. I looked to my left, looked to my right, and there was nothing. And then I approached down to the floor and I see a potato. I grab this potato in my hand. I look at the potato and I say, what the fuck? A potato? What's going on? All right, whatever. So I went to my house. I sit on my nice comfy couch and I was there watching TV, but I keep thinking about this potato. This potato was haunting me. So I Google it. 2 hours later, I Google it. potato on door. It was a prank. It was called potato knocking. So at that point, I found out somebody was pranking me, and I thought it was funny as hell. But I fell for it because the whole purpose of the prank was to see the amazed face of the people, and they always wanting to hear what the fuck a potato. But it's a thing people actually say it, and I fell for it. But okay, moving on. This became recurrent. The next day, another potato, and the next day, another potato. And a couple of days later, they start switching it up. So I opened the door, and then it's an empty can of Lysol, and I was like, what? The next day, it was an empty McDonald's bag. I approached, and it was empty. It was no food or anything. I was so disappointed. I was like, bro, you didn't give me no food. You've been pranking me all this time. Nothing, a little, not a little fry, whatever. Next time, it was Taco Bell. I don't know why. I hate Taco Bell. Who eats Taco Bell? It always gives me diarrhea. But anyways, I started getting really mad. You know, my peaceful life was being ruined. Somebody was pranking me. So in my head, I was thinking, it's either the smoking, the stoner guy, my neighbor, the stoner, or the flip me off chick. One of these two guys was fucking with me. And I was really curious who was it. So this time I was running. Every time I hear my doorbell rings, I will sprint. First time, the casting, another potato. Second time, just potato. The third time was sweetest moment in my life. I sprint out, I opened that door, and I found my stoner neighbor. And we just look at each other. You know, you're supposed to scream or say anything. No, I was surprised. We just look at each other. He stared. I stared back. He was hitting with a potato in his hand. And I was like, oh, this. You know, I never say out loud. I thought about it. And then he sprint to his car. And you hear the wheels like making this scratchy noise. In my mind, I was like, so this guy come from a whole other neighbor just to prank me? Damn, that's some petty people out here. But that one. So after I caught him, there was nothing. For a couple of weeks, I was just living the life again. But guess what? Somebody moved next to me, and he was playing loud music too. So I was exhausted. I couldn't get my peace and quiet. So I sold the house, I packed everything, and I moved to a whole different state, New Jersey. This time, I made sure that my neighbors were quiet and nice. I asked everybody, it's a nice neighborhood. Everything was good. And you know what's the best part of living in a new house? There's no potatoes at my door.